Give me your most intriguing game in the first round of the NCAA tournament. McCall, we'll go to you first.
I mean, I have two. I think it's hard to pick against that UConn Iona game with everything that's at stake. I can't go against that one. I just want to see the handshake line before the game starts. You're talking about two of the most competitive people in all of college basketball, and Coach Pitino and Coach Hurley. I'm sure the legend Coach Hurley, the dad, will be in attendance. I'm sure that he'll be on camera a bunch. So I'm really excited about that one, and I'm excited about Kentucky and Providence. Obviously there's a lot of talk around Coach Cooley and what's happening with him. I think it's a huge game for Kentucky. We got into a little heated discussion the other night when the bracket came out in terms of Coach Cal and if this is a must-win for him. I don't think it's a must-win, but I think that his team is dealing with those circumstances and people talking about that, and then the Providence, his team, Coach Cooley's team, dealing with what he's doing or what's going on with him in terms of the coaching carousel in Georgetown. So those are two games in the first round that I'm really keeping an eye on. I think there's some big time storylines in there. Like I said, I'm excited for that.
Add into that, Matt, Bryce Hopkins,
right? Throw that one in the mix.
A game or something.
I'm excited about that. I cannot wait for the pregame handshake between Pitino and Hurley, and I'm sure they have great respect for each other. I know they have great respect for each other, but you're talking about two of the most competitive guys in this game. So a lot of storylines. Those are the two games I got my eyes on.
I like them. Laval, what about you?
Yeah, the UK and Providence. And even from a basketball, the storylines are there. But even from a basketball standpoint, like Providence has lost 3 straight, and looking to rebound. And Kentucky, haven't got out of the first round. So, two teams that are obviously everyone is hungry to go after a national championship, but you don't want to go out losing 4 in a row if you're Ed Cooley in the Friars. So you're trying to bounce back from that. But I also had, I'm intrigued. There's a ton of storylines. I mean, Bruce Pearl against Iowa is a storyline, and
in Alabama.
In Alabama. And Rob Senderoff, against the coach against Indiana, where Rob was there when all the smoke broke with Kelvin and Kelvin Sampson. So a ton of storylines, but I from a basketball standpoint, the Creighton NC State game, like I'm curious to see how that plays out. Just tactically, Matt, because you got maybe arguably the best backcourt in the country, but 2 of the best guards in the country at NC State, Quavion Smith and Ryan Kalkbrenner sitting in a drop, and Creighton one of the best defenses in the country because of it. And if there's any way to beat Creighton, is to have 2 really good guards who can come off a high pick and roll and pull up and hit a jump shot. And so just how that'll play out. And then Penn State and Texas A&M, just the defense and the heavy rotation buzz, at A&M, but Micah's team who plays, connected and moves the ball really well, and there'll be a ton of open threes, and that's kind of what they do. So I just want to watch. Those are 2 games. I from a basketball fan standpoint, a coach's standpoint, I want to watch those games and just see how that plays out and what kind of adjustments might be made.
Coach Jordan, I'm gonna give you one more too. That's St. Mary's VCU game. Everyone talks about mid-majors and the best mid-majors in the country, and you look at VCU as a 12 seed who won the A10 and won the A10 tournament, lining up to play against them. I mean, that's a high seed, and I know the A10 this is the first year in a long time they were a 1-bid league, but to give VCU a 12 seems a little high against St. Mary's, another really good defensive team. Man, that could be a slugfest. Keep your eye on that game too.
Laval, you and I were on the same page on a couple of these. I had both NC State, Creighton on my list, Penn State, Texas A&M. I just got home from the Big Ten tournament. That Penn State team is so tough, man. Like they just don't go away. You saw it against Purdue, down 16 points. They could have easily folded it up, said they had dead legs, and they were right there with the chance to win. When you combine shooting with a type of team that just keeps hitting and hitting and hitting every time you punch them, That's a team that scares me. But when I look at Texas A&M, man, 10 of 12 they've won now. Toughness, I don't question with Texas A&M.
It's the worst seed in the tournament.
It's a bad seed. And McCall, there's another team I think got a bad seed that I'm a little surprised you didn't mention. How about FAU on the 9 line against Memphis, man?
I mentioned them the other night. That was the first thing that I mentioned when we came on air was you got to be kidding me with what FAU did this year. And over 30 wins. Think about that. Over 30 wins to have that high of a seed in a good conference, in a good league with other good teams. North Texas, UAB. They won their league. They won their tournament. Shoot, they won their tournament final game by, what was it, 20? And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked at their seed. They should have been, a lower seed in my opinion, but the committee doesn't ask me. So that's why I'm sitting here talking to you right now.
We might need to get you on the committee. You can play many roles in this industry, Matt. You know that, but man, maybe we got to get you on the committee. We could definitely talk FAU up to a 7 seed, in my opinion.
At least.
I'm bummed, man, because you had me convinced. You told me about these guys all year long, and I finally got around to watching them probably midway through the conference season, way later than I should have. I'm all the way in on them. My problem is I'm all the way in on Memphis right now, with the way they're playing. So
I'm with you too. Like if FAU can get past Memphis, like that matchup with Purdue, with FAU's veteran guards, with their unselfishness, and they have Vlad Golden on the inside, who's not as big as Zach Edey. No one can match up with him in terms of his size in the front court, but Vlad Golden can battle with him, right? That's the thing that when you watch FAU play, you see the unselfishness, you see the ball movement. Golden on the inside is a big front court presence, and he can match up with him. And they also double the post, and they make strong rotations out of their post doubles. So, that the first round game against Memphis, like I said, I don't love the matchup just in terms of, I think they're seated too high. But if they can get past that game, man, I think Memphis can give Purdue a run for the money too. Don't get me wrong. But I'd love to see that matchup because I do think FAU can get to the second weekend.
Yep. And his name's Vlad. I mean, Zach Edey's got to be a little shook up about that. I wouldn't want to go against a Vlad if I'm him.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in.